Storied organization. Going to be on blue side once again, but this time Caitlyn is banned out against them.
Yeah, different bans coming in from SUNING. Same ban so far for LGD. We'll have to see if they continue on forward here with that. SUNING, I imagine, will still ban away the Twisted Fate from Xie. They did in the last game, and has definitely been the mainstay ban against Xie in a lot of situations.
Do you just first pick Lee Sin after what we saw? You just say, whatever. This is my safety now for SOFM.
I don't know. Like, you'll potentially have either the Graves open or that Twisted Fate.
Yeah.
So I say it'll be like one or the other that ends up being picked up. Yeah. So imagine it'd be... Oh, okay. Actually, Ashe as well. So we then have SOFM has the opportunity to go for the Graves of the Lee Sin. He has prioritized the Graves in series past, so I imagine he will go back towards that here. And then honestly, I think when I look towards SUNING, Huanfeng's such a spectacular Jhin player.
Yeah.
Picking the Jhin into the Ashe, it's a comfort zone for him.
Now, that's what you want to see, but is that what you're going to get? SUNING not often the team to pick up on the center. Even our region doesn't play much center. We'll have a game here or there, but...
You can see it there, a pick rate of 9%,
yeah.
right the way down in the 80 carry list. Curious to see what Sword Art wants to pair with this. Like, we've seen some super aggressive supports like the Pantheon in the past go with this Senna. Or, okay, we're going fully you on this draft.
Well, let's hang on a minute, because we're not the LEC, we're not the LCS. Even the LEC, sorry to correct myself,
yeah.
not as much as LCS loves this pick. Don't expect to see it, at least yet, with Angel getting Syndra once again.
So, Syndra going to be locked in for Angel. Nice matchup in the mid lane. Should be able to control quite a bit there, and it just seems like Angel is trying to get a pushing lane for himself at all points in time. Xie, though, will have the opportunity, as we say, to counterpick this. Does go towards the Galio, so Twisted Fate is banned, but still a roaming mid laner that he can do a lot of work on here.
Yeah, something that Xie has played many times in the past. SOFM now looking at his jungle options. Again, hold the phone until we kind of get to that lock-in. Because SOFM is an innovative jungler. We've talked a lot about him in the past. He's someone who will pick the likes of anything, and it's about the item builds that'll come through. Like Redemption, Olaf, and Lee Sin was popularized by him and solo queue. For now, Bin's Renekton has been left open, and another pick in the LPL that has had high priority is that Renekton, our most played top laner by a bit now.
And now you can start to get rid of some of the picks that he does struggle against in that top lane as well. So Bin will be able to solidify himself a nice matchup. Curious to see if Longxing does have stuff like, you know, the Nard that we've seen come out from Zoom in his champion pool, because Longxing has played quite a few champions, but definitely does prefer to go towards these more teamfight orientated, engaged style champions. So Nard will fit directly there, and he already actually has played 2 of them already.
Very few players in the LPL play Gnar. You know, it's the Shy, Longxing mainly.
Yeah.
Zoom up there as well. Some of the top-tier top laners. Longxing almost fits into that category with his reputation. Dagda, support's being banned off the list. The Lux just in case.
I mean, look, you're still going to have what probably will be something like that. Well, I'm actually curious to see, because usually we don't see aggressive supports paired with something like the Sen in the bot side. It's why you're seeing the Tam Kench banned away. So I would be surprised to see Sword Art take something like the Thresh. So I'm looking at my notes here to see exactly what he could potentially go for. Lily actually banned away, but maybe you just go back towards something, maybe a Set or something potentially to go down in the bottom lane. Because when you see the Senna, it's more about, okay, let me try and get out and roam to a certain extent. So we'll see here if SUNING, I'd imagine we'll lock in a support here and then try and keep the counter. Oh, well, they already know the jungler, actually, so maybe they just want to go with jungle.
Sword Art Thresh. Support we've seen many times, even on the world stage when he was partnered up on the Flash Wolves.
The only thing that I will say about the Thresh, the reason that I didn't want to see it, is although it does slot into that roaming support style, it puts you heavily into the pick composition on SUNING's side, where you now need to try and have the Syndra into the Thresh follow-up with the Renekton follow-through as well. It's very much a let's kill this guy, but when we look at LGD's composition, there's so many different carries here between the Ashe and the Graves, and now also looks like the set support, but we'll see if that Nara is going to be picked in for Longxing. Like, you have a lot of damage there, and a lot of AoE CC that's going to be difficult for SUNING to deal with.
The all-in feels pretty good. Volibear about diving and going forward most of the time.
So I don't like I'm assuming that Set is support again. There we go. I was going to say the Nara is far better. I wouldn't have liked the Volibear. You're actually picking into a counter matchup. The Renekton does really well against the Volibear in the early stages, and it's a bit of a back and forth matchup where if you can have this snowball come in favor of the Renekton, you're great. It can slip in favor of the Volibear with a little bit of extra help, but won't be seeing that matchup anyway.
Yeah, a much better one on the Rift. Now, SOFM, he's going to do this again, and I mean, reasonably normal drafts once more. Wait. Okay. Never mind. Chashiao just gave him a nudge on the shoulder. Said, go get him, champ. And now we've got a Kane all of a sudden. Ning will be watching this game, perusing and saying, I am the Kane main.
And Kane does pretty well against the composition that LGD have, because the ability of Kane to use that ultimate to dodge away from a lot of the counter ultimates on LGD side are amazing. Like the Galio ult you can dodge, and even if you get caught up with the Ashe ult, you still got enough ways that you can try and escape away from that. So I like that SOFM's gone for Kane. The only thing is the clear isn't quite as good as Graves, and especially at those like pre-level 6 moments, you don't really battle very well against Graves. So I still think Peanut at these early stages should win out in that mid-jungle 2v2 and might be able to get some pressure towards Angel, where you can get like this taunt with the Galio and a bunch of damage coming down.
There's such great global pressure you see here from LGD, and we take these comps seriously. We expect them to perform as seriously as we saw in Game 1. At the very least, like the all-in is amazing from LGD, and for SUNING, it does heavily rely on the snowball, does rely on them getting ahead and making sure this Kane gets his time to farm, and then transform their skirmish, also a big part of his kit. Now, what are we going to see though? Let's set up a vote. Are we going to see a 20-minute game, or does this one go to 50? We see different drafts, and the ability for SUNING maybe just to fall out of favor. I don't know. Let's go in. We're waiting to announce our winner, but is the winner the real winner? Another question here. Let's go. Let's get some gyos. Let's get some enthusiasm as we head onto the Rift. Oh, he's so cute. No, not the dab. Oh, send him out.
That was some aggressive enthusiasm from that man.
Hey, shout out to OCE jungler Udisoft on Direwolves. Did you see? Made big news. He whipped so hard, he dislocated his shoulder.
Oh my god.
Literally whipped so hard.
Oh my god, that is amazing.
It's amazing's one word, and he's getting a lot of publicity from it. But I'm not sure if it was worth whipping his shoulder out for. If you want to go check him out, shout out to Direwolves jungler. But anyway, welcome to the Rift.
Yeah, either way,
it's great.
Look, SUNING's composition definitely revolves around a mid-game spike, like 1 to 2 items for SOFM. I imagine he's still going to be looking, especially as Kane, for that Rast upgrade. That's what we see like 9 times out of 10, both in solo queue and in competitive. Going towards the Black Cleaver, should be able to get a decent amount of work done when he hits that second item alongside the composition that we were talking about.
Seeing fleet footwork on SOFM is different though, right? I mean, we've seen Dark Halves. We've seen things like Electrocute. There's been, Conqueror's even come through. Conqueror Kane we know is the red Kane usually. Electrocute is the blue Assassin Kane, which we don't really see in competitive play. I know you're also mentioning the comment that was just coming out. So we've got some different rune choices. You like to see it. And yeah, the Essence River we saw the other day.
Yeah, so I'm going to take this a little bit slower. So SOFM, going back to him, fleet footwork is just because we talked about that early stage against Graves really sucks. So just giving him a little bit of help if he ever does run in, just keeping himself nice and topped up, tanks that fleet footwork. So he can go a little bit aggressive like this. And
get some orbs. Smites down, steals away, doesn't want to stick around now, hits level 3 over the wall. Kane outie.
And you can see though, Mark has moved up here, so trying to see
Kane going east now, and SOFM is going to be skirmishing with Mark. Still a support. Heals up thanks to the Umbral Trespass. And now for SOFM, his clear might be contested by Peanut, who is full health. Remember, there's still no blue buff, so Peanut's just going to invade and take this one away.
This is something LGD do a really good job of, specifically Mark and Chie, supporting Peanut when he goes for these invades in the early game. And SOFM will just opt into the split map, but so it's not going to be the worst in the world for SUNING, but definitely a nice little trade for Peanut.
Correction, it is Shadow Step. That is the E through walls that he gets health on as well. Umbral Trespass is the Ulton for this Kane, who is level 3. Trying to ramp up. Peanut spotted out. Oh, Angel walking forward, gets a bit of information. Now SOFM has to play this one well into the brush. Oh, what a cheeky man. His blue's still there. Peanut will triple buff, but SOFM gets the last laugh.
Does he though? Because I mean,
Yes,
you've just lost the camp. You've lost one of your buffs, and you're now opting back into the opposite side. So nice little dance between these junglers, but definitely SOFM coming out a bit worse for wear, where his camps are being taken and not really able to get much back for himself.
But it's all about the mind game. You know, now you have no clue where SOFM is except bot because you saw him walk through mid.
I know, like you both sides will know exactly where the junglers are.
Yes.
It's not really going to make a huge difference in the grand scheme of things. Bin coming down to see if he could try and push Peanut off of that scuttle with the push going in on top side, but
SUNING have dropped a ward out towards the defensive side of their top jungle. That's where Xie is going now with Peanut, but there is only Raptors are there, excuse me. SOFM going bottom, gonna be, I guess we just reverse split this map once again.
we're going to see a little bit more aggression coming in now in a second, as Mark will find SOFM but hops over the wall.
We're just doing this again.
Yeah, the big thing is more Xie is getting close to that level 6, so has just TP'd back to lane. What you're going to look at is Peanut trying to make this gank around the 5.5 minute mark to get Angel down so they can unlock Xie from this mid lane. And then when you look at both side lanes, you've got a super aggressive top laner and bot lane that can set up these gank plays where you can have Xie join in with that ultimate.
Oh, hang on, Slice and Dice actually ready to be used. Bin is wanting to follow this, goes in eventually after coming out of Mega Knight. Lungshing flashes himself, and there you go, why Renekton is just such a great pick in the LPL, because people win lanes.
Well, a big mistake from Longxing. You want to try and play this at range, so then Bin can't get on top of you, and your moments where you turn in towards your Mega Gnar, you're supposed to be able to, CC, get the slow, so then you actually get out of that with a favorable trade. The issue there was that Longxing was already below half health, then missed the stun, and Bin does a good job of following up, so gets the flash out of Longxing.
Been trying to time it so he stops the back, and then Lungshing has to use the TP to get back up in this wave. As Lungshing will now eventually make that recall. It is Ninja Tabi Rush. Always good optimization as is the kill threat bottom side. Death Sentence will full mark in. Peanut, SOFM is now down here, but will not walk into the lane, instead setting up a scuttle and the possibility of first dragon.
The issue for SOFM, though, is that a quite early game doesn't favor a Kayn. You want to be transforming as soon as humanly possible. He hasn't really got in to try and fight against Peanut. He hasn't got access to these lanes, so he's not going to be stacking up these orbs particularly quickly, and it means that he's going to be delayed on transforming into his Rast.
A great time for me to recommend spectator advancements here, if anyone from Riot's listening. I think we need to see Kane's orb bar. We need to see his ballers. Sword Art, ignited down, Haymaker right through the middle for true damage. The volley, the ignite, Sword Art only just lives. SUNING's bottom lane tested a little bit here by LGD once again.
Unfortunate that Kramer didn't quite have that Comet up and available, would have been able to finish off Sword Art, but this is the advantage of taking Comet in this lane. A lot of poke, and it sets up really well for Kramer if he ever gets top of Sword Art, where you can try and burst him down. Once Sword Art doesn't have that Aftershock up and available, he becomes very squishy on this Thresh and easily able to be taken down by Kramer.
And then once again through these lanes, LGD are doing just fine, apart from Lungshing up in that top lane, of course. Xie just waiting to use his ult across the map so we don't take too much stock of Syndra versus Galio. Especially with the MR shield to negate most of what Angel's doing. And he's low on mana, the Syndra in the mid lane, while we're heading towards top side because SOFM almost 6 and wants to get something from Lungshing, or at least continue this invade.
Nice job from Sword Art here to at least move in with Angel to shove this wave. It forces Xie to return towards the mid lane and stops him from being able to get any of the ultimates off, and gives the opportunity for Angel to back. So at least now Xie still will be held in this mid lane, but this is what we're talking about. Peanut wants to be able to make some sort of play in this mid lane to help unlock Xie with a little bit more time to make these run plays.
But also remember that because we have like a level 6 Gnar, we have a level 6 Xie, we're kind of just waiting for Kramer and Mark to get to that point themselves. The level 6 from LGD across the board is pretty dangerous and enables that wombo we mentioned in pick and ban, and especially around these objectives. Herald is up, Backs haven't come through yet from the 80 carries, but it has come through from Sword Art. He's heading back to his bottom lane. And SOFM is going to be clearing up towards the top side, while Peanut starts positioning around there himself.
Will be positioning for this Rift Herald. One of the advantages, obviously, of having Mark up here plus Shie with that ult is you can start the 2-man and very quickly have Shie join in. So advantage over towards LGD in just the position that they have on the map right now. SUNING starting to rotate members up to go against this, but I still think this should be LGD favored.
You know, especially if he gets the kill wall. He'll be able to set this one up as Flash and ulti still available. Smoke screen used, slice and dice nicely, and Bin's just out. Red Smite comes down though, and Peanut just wants to kill him. End of the line, collateral damage. Dominus burnt. So that's key ultimate for Peanut having to use his own enchant across the arrow with the Comet Ash. Forces the cleanse out from Honfong. Meanwhile, Death Sentence onto Shie, bringing the Dark Passage with the Flay, and now with the taunt, the ultimate through from center helps out. And Shie gets taken down by the Kayn for first blood. SOFM stacking the orbs here. And now wants his second kill of the game, but it's given over to Bin. And SUNING with 2 and 0. Now get Herald as well.
Nice job from SUNING to turn that play around. Don't quite get away with it in the mid lane as LGD. Shie gets hit by the hook. And SUNING getting this Rift Herald now, plus those orbs onto SOFM, is going to work wonders in solidifying this early game lead for themselves.
Again, I'd be curious as to how that bar's filling up, because we saw against Shie and Peanut, a lot of damage done, a lot of time in combat, 1-0 and 1. And his ability to get this early Warriors is going to feel pretty good. Early, not the right word, but we'll be able to pick it up when he goes back next.
And the thing is here, where SOFM wants to put his attention is towards that mid lane. Rast, as we talked about, is the preferable transformation here, so getting on towards Shie as the only real guaranteed melee champion alongside the bottom side of the map. Shie gets the kill over towards SOFM, works wonders for him. Bin TP'd in here as well to cut off Peanut's retreat. Like, this was just nice play from SUNING, and LGD biting off a little bit more than they can chew.
While it is a better, decision to go Rast here, if you go, what's the other one called? Is it Darken?
I think it's just Assassin Kid.
Okay, well,
because he's still Kayn.
It's definitely got
he's
a
still
name.
Kayn.
But with the way this series has started already, you'd think, let's just go Assassin Kid. Let's go Blue Kayn. Why not? You got Fleet.
Nah, he's going Black Cleaver. He's going for Rast. So, I mean, yeah, if you see the Black Cleaver, you're going for the more tank health orientated Rast versus if you go towards something like the lethality option, you will be looking at Assassin.
Maybe he just becomes a better version of Kayn when he's blue. That was to show my age. You know that blue, if I was blue, I would die. That would die. Yeah, that one. What a tune. I think I was like 9 when that came out. That was in the 90s, wasn't it? Or maybe it wasn't. I wasn't 9. Maybe it was like 4.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure exactly when it came out. It's a great song though.
Man, feel old when you realize you were born before the centuries. SOFM has Herald in hand. Nice scout of the week here, and SOFM trying to get a couple more stacks going as Herald in hand. Will he drop it now? Give Angel a bit of gold. The options there.
This is what we were talking about. SOFM trying to play through mid. Does manage to get a little bit more there for himself as he gets the damage onto Shie, but trying to use this Rift Herald to secure an early lead for Angel. That's kind of been the game plan for SUNING for quite a while. These Rift Heralds tend to go towards the mid lane.
Give me more stacks, says SOFM, as Longxing now moves in without a Mega Narbar whatsoever. Meanwhile, Kramer and Mark and Chattercross are flashed away from Honfong. Man, he was itchy on that D button. Sorry, F, as here comes Angel with Scout of the Week, and Longxing again, no Narbar. SOFM loving this because the Umbral Trespass, the auto attacks. Longxing is dead, and Fed Kayn game incoming.
SOFM saying, you know what, had a bit of an early start in the last game, or not so good early start in the last game. I want to step it up a notch here, have that carry performance that I had at the end of Game 1, and get it rolling again in Game 2.
When a Kayn snowballs, it is the worst experience. All solo queue players know that Kayn can be the biggest flub of a champion, but when he gets resources, when he's this far ahead, Peanut is going to have his work cut out for him as Sword Art and Honfong making the proper response across the map, while Rift Herald going down, getting the charge, getting first turret blood, and SUNING now ahead so far as the ultimate from Mark brings him in. The Ignite put down, pulls him back with a face breaker, and Mark gets the kill. But it is one trade for the turret, the second charge, and Shie's potential death. Chilling Smite goes down, SOFM heals up. Justice punch away while SUNING don't have a minion wave here, so they have to back.
Does give the opportunity for LGD to trade that top lane push though, which is pretty good for LGD considering how they've already lost the Gnar on that top side and that Rift Herald was used in the equation. But this is just nice from SUNING. They have to catch Longxing, max range stun coming through from the Syndra, and at that point Longxing's got nowhere to hide.
Surely he's pretty close to an upgrade, even at 13 minutes. A lot of the time with Canes, we look at like 13 to 18 at the absolute latest.
So yeah, you kind of look at the 13 to 14 minute mark is where you usually get the Rast coming online. But I have to see like how close he is now. But I am looking over, at Peanut. With these dragons, already he's been picking them up slowly but surely. So while we're looking at the attention of what SOFM is doing on the map, we're actually seeing that Peanut is responding reasonably well. 2 dragons already picked up, a 3rd one now in 3 minutes. So we can actually see if LGD can find these more favorable fights when they're able to go towards that next round.
Just looking back out on the map, still no upgrade there at the very least, but the Phage picked up is big, while SUNING's comparison of turret plating is quite nice. And Dagda, honestly at this point, LGD, we're expecting them to have a very proactive early game once they got to 6. That hasn't happened, but even more so, the early game of SUNING has triumphed, whereas last game it absolutely fill in the blank.
And look, this is what we're talking about. It's a sprint and not a marathon, right, for LGD side. We saw against JDG that the game they won, they got off to a really nice early game start. But if they do start to fall behind, they can struggle to get back into these games.
And across arrow, hits SOFM, Mark.
Now what?
Doesn't have Hex Flash, because he went Aftershock set, and obviously doesn't have Inspiration in his secondary. Unfortunate. That was, yeah, now what's a good way to summarize.
Yeah, I mean, Peanut was trying to wrap around there, but he actually came back onto his own side of the jungle. No vision for LGD to try and follow up on the play, so Kramer swing and a miss as good as it was for the LGD side.
Now no enchanting Crystal Arrow for quite a bit. SUNING just pacing themselves, clearing out the wave, sending Quanfong mid while SOFM shadows. He just wants to find a little bit of a skirmish. No enchanting Crystal Arrow means SOFM might be able to pop his head in, but instead opts to wait for Peanut.
Rift Herald is up though, and I imagine that LGD, as they start to congregate around it, will try and pick it up. Mark backing very late though means that they won't have the support here for a 5v5, even with Longxing teleporting in.
Trying to pace his way through. This is the start of the Herald though. So SUNING, pretty confident they won't get contested because Peanut not in the right place at the right time, and SOFM is doing a lot of damage at the moment, while Sword Art is sending out death sentences. Doesn't care that Peanut's here, gets flayed on in, scatter the weak, flashing forward, unleash power. Peanut was free that time around.
Yeah, Peanut gets caught out. SOFM finishes off the Rift Herald. I don't know what Peanut was on going in there. He knew that Sword Art was just across the way, and even with the hook going wide, still manages to just let him walk in and get the play. So Sword Art setting up a nice play. SOFM now gets that transformation. Just the 60.5 minute mark.
Oh my God.
There's the Rast. And with that Rift Herald, him getting a nice little buff now to his ultimate, and also the knock-up on his W, he's going to be in great shape for these next couple of team fights with the Dragon in 40 seconds.
Yeah, really decently timed evolution, I'll call it. Oh, what do you call it? Transformation. Either way, he evolved into bigger FM. And SOFM now just going to be farming up. I mean, he's in a very comfortable position in this game. We've got a lot more CC coming through, and the unkillability that will be Kane is a bit of a highlight in the bottom of your screen. 1,100 gold over Peanut, as we saw on our left-hand side of our screen.
Yeah, so for anyone who hasn't seen Kane for a while, the ult gives you all that extra health. When you do use that ultimate, you get a percentage of the max health of the person that you jump into. And as well, now your W will get that knock-up effect. So having a little bit of extra CC, to, as I said, to bring to the table, plus just the annoyance that Kane brings. If you get in towards a backline, it's very difficult to deal with them, just like something like an Akali or any along these lines would be.
I mean, he just becomes the most potent bruiser in the game at this point, as Sword Art sending out hooks with Dragon starting up. LGD already have 2 in their back pockets, and Enchantress Arrow, swing and a miss. Peanut at half health, and SUNING have controlled this river utterly. Still waiting to see that wombo from LGD as Angel's the one walking forward. The flash in from Mark sets up for the face breaker. Dragon is secured though, while now comes the engage. Mark, someone is inside of him at the moment with SOFM heading on up. The ult from center. Mark manages to get away, but SOFM is literally reaping slash everywhere. Peanut is not safe. Here comes another reap slash, and this is really not good. Peanut, Penguins up again.
Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, and LGD are still being chased.
All right, well, Lungxing with no Mega Naba. That death sentence feels like it should have hit a minion, but it was perfectly done. And Suning this time around are the ones who should win the second game.
Dragon for Suning, towers for Suning, the fight for Suning as well. SOFM is massive and a hard carry so far for Suning in this series. We highlight him at the start of the day as someone you have to keep your eyes on whenever you play against Suning, and this is the reason why.
Let's just remember, coming into this series, we talked a lot about Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and how important he was for both junglers. SOFM is imitating this game even without the Skarner.
It sounds like both junglers have the dream of me seeing The Rock at some point in time.
As Dwayne would say, success isn't overnight. It's when every day you get a little better than the day before. It all adds up. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And SOFM has been successful this game long. And Sword Art, beautiful hook. I don't know who we'll compare the supports to. Maybe we look at who's an idol. Hugh Jackman, Wolverine. Maybe I can look up some Wolverine quotes.
See, I'm a big Ryan Reynolds fan.
Okay, well, we can do that as well. SOFM, though, has found himself a nice in with Enchanted Cosara. Dodged away from it. Squad Fog actually takes it instead. Lungxing wanted his ulti off, but range is too far. And LGD will just have to crawl back.
Yeah, I mean, this is just SOFM putting the smack down. Like, either way, the LGD just don't have a look in right now. 5,000 gold lead going over towards Suning. Angel has had full control of this mid lane. Xie looking really disappointing on the Scalio as well.
So it turns out quote number 2 from Wolverine has the F word in it. So
I've gone for the Rock WWE quotes, and it's just full of curses as well. I'm like, oh, well, this isn't going to work.
Xie, speaking of, is on the wrong side of the map right now. That W connects even with the Justice Punch, and SOFM's on the chase too. Lungxing about to go into Meganara as Mark sends up with a showstopper, wants a face breaker. Only under one though, while meanwhile Xie's dead. And Suning are devouring LGD whole. Lungxing's ulti was used, and it really didn't do too much, while Sword Art sends out the death sentence, almost gets the Nile once more. But Suning have found what they came for.
Yeah, Suning are getting everything that they want from this game right now, running away with this. 3-0-3 for the Kane, 4-0 for Bid in this top lane as well, who in a matchup that is definitely Lungxing favored, he's been doing an incredibly good job of getting these leads and running away with them.
Kramer has been... who's not a good AD character? I was going to make a pass at double lift, but I don't think that's fair. I think he gets a lot of flack. But he's not hitting Enchanted Crystal Arrows. They're missing quite a lot.
Well, look, we talked about Mark was not playing League of Legends. He's doing the cha-cha slide in the last game, right? Well, all that's happening with Kramer is Kramer's just playing baseball instead. He's just swinging for the bleachers instead of, you know, the people in front of him. He's just got the wrong game, that's all. Someone just needs to tell him we're not playing, like, whatever the, I don't know, the baseball equivalent of FIFA is.
It's the same game. They just release it every year.
Yeah.
You know what makes me angry about that?
But the graphics, hysterics. The graphics.
It's the same game. They just remake. They put, you know, oh, this player's #1 this year.
Yeah.
FIFA has been the same game for like 6 or 7 versions. At least. I can feel like the NBA 2Ks are kind of like that as well. Obviously,
I
I'll
mean,
never
pretty
work
much
with
any
2K,
sports game is, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
You know a game that never ripped people off? Maple Story.
It'll be like releasing League of Legends 2 or something. It'd just be pointless.
Now that one will get you not working with a certain company in the future, that's for sure. Is kind of waiting for Suning to start these skirmishes. Well, let's just buy a new game. Oh my god. That was the biggest shade thrown.
I didn't say
that was the biggest shade thrown at another franchise that we shall not name. Well done. Well done. That's kind of like a me step as SOFM. I don't think he cares about this. Enchanted Cosara lands this time though onto Juan Fong. He just keeps getting cleansed away this time by the Mikhails. As death sentence very close. Walking forward is SOFM. Mark with a great engage. Face breaker used, but inside with the Umbral Trespass, excuse me. Angel's going to die. Now, LGD have a numbers advantage. Flash shield to Duran. Doesn't connect.
Oh,
good
that
binding.
CC. Really well
Oh,
played.
death sentence in the nick of time. Remember, SOFM is large, so quickly down goes Xie. Ultimate Dawning Shadow from Juan Fong. SOFM still frontlining a bit here with the Black Cleaver. He can absorb quite a lot. And we're doing this once again. Good knock-up. SOFM runs in. Dark Passage taken. This is definitely solo queue as walking forward. The flash is there. SOFM doesn't want to engage, and he's just dead. And now, at the 24-minute mark again, that's their cue.
That was a Kaylee dance. I don't know if anyone knows what I'm referring to, but this just looks like a Kaylee where you've got like both men and women on opposite sides, and then you both march together one by one, then back away again. Come together again and back away. It's just like,
I don't know what you're talking about.
These
but
team fights. Look up at Kaylee dance. You'll
Okay,
understand.
alright.
But either way.
Teleport used. The chat across the arrows back.
Oh,
It
God,
sails
Kramer.
through. To be fair, though, that time it was a little bit of a better swing and a miss. Scat of the week used. Teleport used as well. Xie goes in. Meanwhile, Juan Fong and, you know, Lungshi gets the kill. But honestly, take it away, Dagda. I'm going to put my headset down for a second. Just give me a moment.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Look, Dragon goes the way of LGD. That will be the third Dragon of the game over for them. This is the weirdest fight I think I've seen in a long time. SOFM actually gets caught with the terror range. That arrow does connect onto Huanfeng, and at this stage, look, LGD, if they're able to find these engages, they look super, super strong, especially when you got this combo between Mark into Xie. It's really difficult for you to try and get away, so nice setup there. But then this was a strange one where it felt like, okay, we tried to engage, all right, no, now we back away. It's fencing, you know? Now we move in, we get our turn, and then you back away, and then you get your turn again, and I don't know, it's not really
Stop the
coordinated.
replay.
There's no coordination.
Stop the replay. We saw it firsthand. We're okay with not seeing it again. I'm back. I had a walk. I tried to dunk a water bottle to get me back in the mood. I missed. And much like this game, is kind of missing the point of the inspiration that is League of Legends. Now, all the people in our chat, all the people watching, you are beloved members of the community. You've never been toxic in solo queue. You've never typed.
Pillars of the community.
Yes. You have honor level 5. You are that support player that you get auto-filled to support, and you say, don't worry, team. I'm going to play something like a shield or a tank.
Not
yes.
AP looks.
I'm going to play for the team. And that's because our chat's so wholesome. They are, as you said, pillars of the community. Now, that's why watching this, I want people to take away that this is not great, and we're better than this. We really are. Welcome to Baron. Suning are in front of it. LGD, it's not a free Baron this time. Box goes up. Suning might want to finish this game the way they started, as our fantastic community is going to see a bit of a fight here. Dagda, and Baron is secured. Peanut can't get in time. Dark Passage out. Been waiting for the slice and dice, and LGD just not going to touch him. Lungshing's going on the back end. Bin's been in there a while. Suning actually want to fight instead. SOFM gets a 2-man knockup onto Mark. He ults instead of getting face broken. And now, literally spins. Xie comes on in. Knockup at the ready again. Hits Mark, and SOFM takes him down. LGD now at a numbers disadvantage. SOFM doesn't stop chasing. This is the potency of Kane, who just keeps using this slice and dice of his own. Justice Punch away. SOFM running out of mana while Kramer's just poking him down. But here we go once more. He's thinking about it.
He'll back away. They got what they came for. The Baron went their way. They can now back, especially when... Oh, hang on, maybe not. Sword Art.
He's going to find Peanut. Smoke screen doesn't connect, but in comes SOFM. Heal burnt. Rest of Suning coming through. Chat Crystal Arrow.
It is! It is!
It too. Oh, at least Kramer has that one. The turnaround onto Lungshing won't work, but we're now fighting over Soul in about a minute 45 for LGD.
And the top lane has been pushed right the way in. Bin still has, at least on himself, that Baron buff, so he can look to play off into a side lane while the rest of Suning group up. SOFM on this game can do a really good job of dipping between the two lanes and making it hard for LGD to collapse directly on towards Bin without SOFM showing up.
I didn't say that. I know we haven't talked about items and anything, and we can teach our.
That's what's going to show this game.
We're going to teach our audience
here
because I think there's someone watching today that thinks casting looks pretty easy. I can do it. Now, I don't think it is, but your thoughts are your thoughts. SOFM here, we're about to watch him. Oh, yeah. He slashed into that. He used his Q, he used the reaping slash to run right into that.
Yeah. I mean, it was nice. Like, Kramer's been firing out these arrows pretty much the second they come off cooldown, so didn't manage to just connect onto SOFM. Either way, though, Suning still with this Baron buff, going to be able to shove right the way in. Huanfeng is pushing in this mid lane, although I'd prefer if he was grouped with the rest of the team. I think Suning definitely need to keep that Senna safe, especially when we've got Kramer with these arrows.
I told you, though, this could be a 50-minute game. But Suning pushing in multiple lanes. Lungxing is mega, and Lungxing chooses not to use his ult. Mark, though, the deepest flank. And it's stopped.
He forgot that creeps existed, so gets spotted on the creeps, which means Suning are able to dip into the jungle on bot side and escape away from that.
Now, just a reminder to our audience, one of these teams are going to Worlds definitely, but don't take this play as is, as Angel will have to use his QSS to get out of that one. Or I actually believe it's Mikhails from Mikhails, that's the one. Crucible from Sword Art. Holy moly, English is hard.
If you want to see what these teams are actually about, I'd highly recommend looking LGD versus IG and Suning versus B5, because you get a better idea of the potential teams that we are sending to Worlds.
Yeah. Hey, this team beat B5. As Sword Art lands a good death sentence, in he goes, right into the middle, box is laid down. Kramer, though, has a pretty good position as the ult from Huanfeng will lay it down, and now that Dawning Shadow's out of the way, SOFM's like, hey, I'm going to get Dragon over the wall. Xie flashes. He won't get it himself. And the re-engage might be here. Shielded Duran used, but Xie has somebody right into the middle. SOFM with a 3-man knockup. Remember, this is Red Kane. You're not going to kill him just like that. Ulti into the wall from Na, but SOFM lives. Now forward, forces Kramer's flash. Huanfeng, I believe he's going to be the one to flash next. Dagger is Kramer in front of Wolves. Here we go. The center Qs doesn't even need the flashes. Mark, you're up next, buddy. Facebreaker dodged. The set support, and the blade spin. So Xie's dead next, and you know what? This might just be game. No, actually, no, it's not.
Bin has been chased, but down by Bin. There we go. Ace going over the way of Suning. And honestly, they do have minion waves that they can work with here, so even if they are not able to close out here with the low death timers that are there on Longxing and Kramer, they can definitely crack open the base.
You'd think. And pushing in these waves, that's the protocol for League of Legends. Angel's going to back. So is Huanfeng. SOFM is waiting for a kill and breaking open the mid inhib. And this is a 9k gold lead at 31 minutes. And the way this game's gone has been a little bit slower than the last game, but we'll have a look here at how long this lasted. As Xie decided he was probably going to outsmite. He did have smite in hand, though, to be fair, so
it was
I like the ballsy play.
So he was trying. Like, I can, especially when you're already on the 3 dragons there for LGD, you could have the opportunity to take that ocean or that mountain soul for yourself, but fortunately wasn't quite able to get the smite, and then LGD caught on the wrong side of the rift. Kramer's nowhere to run either, as everybody dips. I'm surprised to see Mark and Xie trying to make this play happen. They end up getting caught out just for sticking around to that push a little bit too long.
Yeah, then the grand escape Xie is like, I'm not going to try walk to lane, I'm going to walk in between the two people. Have we got Baron up again? What's cracking on League of Legends right now? Oh, wait. Did Peanut die? Nice. And back to life. Bin getting hurt. Lungxing not mega. Are we ready, though? Because Mark's probably just dead. And Suning with this one could be on their way to making it 2-0. And hopefully getting us to more fun picks like the Kane, because SOFM has slapped.
And he's looking really good. I mean, throughout this series, SOFM has been the one that's putting Suning forward, carrying them in these series. And managing to pick up the cane here, 7-2 and 4. This Rast is destroying LGD, especially with how separated LGD have been. Skirmishes favor this cane so well.
SOFM's in though this time, and Humble Trespass is going to start the play off. Peanut dodges away from the knock-up, and Shie, now that he's in, might have just committed himself to death. And SOFM, every single time he lands that Blade's Reach, the knock-ups do so much. He spins with Reaping Slash, and then the Umbral Trespass finishes them off. As SUNING now have a direct passage through the mid lane.
Yeah, they're going to be able to push through here. LGD are down, overcommitments towards Peanut, who was way out of position, and SUNING will take down the next.
Yes, they do. A 2-0 in what can only be described as a series
of League of Legends.
The best, worst series we've seen in 2020 across the entire world. Golden is sought up, and the Nexus will finally drop.
Eventually, in time, with due course, it will eventually, at a period of time, go down.
They got SOFM, that's what matters. The series of League of Legends history. No, definitely not. Hey, we've had other series